Here, I'm just going to pause real quick and come down here and just take a look, see what's going on. So let's go back. So we're pushing really hard on the bottom. I'm just wondering if they had cannons or what they have up here. They're just going to nuke again. Pat already used one nuke. So we had one nuke on top, one nuke on bottom. No nukes on our side have been used. And we're just going to see all of these Vikings here. We got damage going back and forth. The corruptors coming from the bottom, you know, too. So they're kind of sandwiching our units here. So they're pushing at us on top, kinda, and they're holding on bottom. Of course, you know, remember, they didn't do anything but push us back to this ramp, and then we pushed right back onto their top ramp. Now what's happening here is that we're holding them on the line. They never pushed all the way across. We got the Thor here that's just, you know, attacking, got 16 kills. Here come those mass Vikings out. They're doing good work to these, you know, they're 4-6. You know, these are 4-6-3 as well. One thing about Thor is that they do clump up quite a bit, and they don't, you know, rarely do they. Here we go, finally able to get the 2 rows firing on them. Sending units up top to kind of stem the tide here. Finally. My Thor's had like, now I've got 29 kills, my Odin, anyway. We're not trying to drop nukes all over the place because this thing's moving so fast back and forth. I would know I'd just miss a nuke if I tried. So I didn't want to use the nuke capability. I wanted to use just of its attack capability. You know, 80 damage to ground, 35 damage now to air. You know, as the upgrades come for my units, they're also going to affect my Thor. So they're finally getting the push back here. He's going to probably start sending his, you know, rally his units to the south because he's been sending them up north this whole time. Pushing really hard. Let's see, where are we at? We are halfway through this game. Not over yet. So let's take a look at units. There's my Odin. 1% has a Kerrigan as well. They have a Kerrigan. There's only one Kerrigan on their team, so don't have. And the thing about it is that if you build Odin early enough, then you actually, that timer starts again, you know, to build your next one. So while I built one earlier, I built them super early, I actually can build another one now, and I do. Remember, I labeled, the thing that I labeled about this replay is that I built 5 Odins, and that is a lot. Remember that last Odin costs, that 5th one cost 16,000 in resources. So I got this Odin here. I'm thinking about building another one. So I'm probably off doing silliness. Let's see. What am I looking at right now? Oh, I'm attacking these buildings. I'm like, I hate these buildings. They make corruptors. These buildings need to die. And then, you know, we're holding off in this lane or holding back that ball, killing these corruptor buildings. 1% seems to be upset that he has not synced up all of his buildings yet. And if you look, they're all coming out at different times. You know, that does not helpful. So looks like something happened here, and we're getting pushed back. Let's just see. I was fortunately looking down the other lane, so we'll just see. Is anything happen besides just a whole lot of Scourge? Looks like that's it. You know. So I'm getting the heck out of there because, you know, they're gonna kill my Odin here if I don't get out soon. Let's see. So this is me, my one Odin. Still 2 Kerrigans now for Batty. Still, he's the only one with any kind of hero. 1 Kerrigan for 1%, and no heroes for Izzy. So, just doing some. I do that barrage. It only affects ground units, but it does kill all the infestors and all their infested Terrans all at once. So some infested Terrans unable to shoot up, you know, and do anything. I like how they've infected corruption on the dingle, which they're not actually. So boom! All of a sudden, my Odin just got focused down by the. You know, my Odin's got focused down, but alas, I'll just build another one here, and I chrono boost this out because there it is. It was taking too long to get this really long upgrade, so I get my next Odin out. This is Odin number 2, and not going to let it have the same fate. We're pushing back on the bottom really good. carriers, BCs, Thors, some Dingles, some Vikings. Just look at, it's like almost a page full of carriers. That's like insta-death right there. So he's got a Kerrigan that just did burrow. That's good, but Dingles will be here soon enough to show that, and probably just get insta focus down right there. You go. Alrighty. Julio's Kerrigan dies, and Haruto uses a nuke. That is 3 nukes for our opponents. So that's one way to get rid of all those carriers. And of course now they're pushing up on top, and my Odin is here doing some damage. This time I didn't drop a nuke. Who dropped the nuke? Let's take a look and see where the nukage is. Alright, so we have a nuke here. Whose nuke is that? Let's see. Okay, so it's their nuke. Come on now. I like how far away these nukes can go. So Haruto has a nuke here. And we're just kind of walking by the nuke. Okay, thanks for the nuke. Oh boy, that does kind of go right where some units are. But you know what? That was a pretty good whiff. That's the problem with some of these. You've got to wait until they run up against your army, run into some buildings. You know, that was pretty much a whiff nuke right there. It only killed a few units, although it killed enough that probably did enough damage to some of those units that they could start pushing back. I'm still here using my barrage. Kind of hard to see, you know, what's happening on the ground, but it does kind of just help get rid of those units so the carriers can focus on these air units. We want to be very careful with this guy. We don't want him to die, and he is taking damage. But we do have almost all of the Dingles trying to heal it. Again, you know, even though they're pushing, we'll see just how far they got. Immortals on the ground. Let's see what happens this time. So we're kind of doing this dance on the top, and they're coming across the bottom. We'll soften those up, and then we'll just start focusing on. They fly right through. That's good. Oh my God! All of those that storm just did excellent damage to those units as they all flew through them. And now I think that's gonna be it. We're gonna hold the bottom here. Up top again. Thor's up to 20. Odin's up to 23. We're getting you know. Wonder why it's only 7 here. Oh, okay, 9. So 9 attack up and down. At the point where pretty much one shot. Just the Odin will just insta kill the Corruptors. They didn't upgrade the Corruptors all the way for some reason. He was a little low on money or what. But at this point, I think I got a max. We all have max. Everything but Izzy's. Does Izzy have 2? He has 2 pylons. Oh, Izzy, you crazy bastard! You got 2 pylons and you upgraded 1. No wonder he had extra money. He had 2 pylons. So let's see. Izzy's at 550 income. That's about as high as you can get. Between your buildings and your max pylon. You know, if you look at the pylons that they will give an income of 256, I think all your buildings together give you around 250. So, you know, we are at, you know, plus 1 guy is gone, so we have, you know, his income, which I don't know, I guess was 10. I guess we could build buildings with him, I don't know. But, so we got, you know, 1,500 versus, you know, 8, and then about 1,300. Well, kind of even. That's the point, you know. But they're probably maxing out their pylons too. So now we've got my second Odin. Still have 1 Odin, 2 Kerrigans now for 1%, 2 Kerrigans for Batty, 1 Odin for Haruto. Starting to kill more buildings. I love killing buildings. Less units to contend with. That is one hero. Hell yeah, man. He's going to take that one out. Got to keep this guy alive, getting us that push back again when they get close enough to these. Now we got 2 chalupas and 3 cannons, plus the natural army, kind of a natural pushback going up, back and forth, back and forth. At some point, we're going to start making more Odins. I'm just producing a lot of stuff. Is just making a ton of different units. You're 1% more focused on just a few things. Really, the carriers is really his main focus. There we go. Now we've got 2 Odins for me and 3 Kerrigans for 1%. And I'm not going to let these Odins die this time. So we've got, you know, between them, I have 2 more nukes that we could drop if we wanted to. But again, we're moving so fast back and forth. It's really risky to drop nukes, as you saw what happened with, I think, was it Pat? The Harito's nuke, he just, you know, missed because the army moved past it. But using storms, using the high DPS attacks, we do have to get out of there because, you know, the Broodlords are coming and they will kill your heroes super fast. So luckily the tanks are there to attract some damage. The thing about BCs is that even though they do attack, I mean, you know, their air weapons only do 15 damage and their ground do 17. The thing is that they attack super fast, you know, so they don't do a lot of damage, they just do a lot of damage over a period of time. So we're doing storms and we're shooting, you know, pretty much, you can see it just takes a couple of shots from the Odins to, tell me I did not lose my Odins. Okay, I still have 2. So this would be Odins 3 and 4 here, because Odin number 1 already died. Right? No, 2 and 3. So Odin 1 died, this is Odin's 2 and 3. We're shooting up in the air trying to stop the Scourge. We're reducing the number of Scourge, that's for certain. They hit all these BCs, you know, it takes a lot of Scourge to take out a BC. There's lots of BCs and then there's carriers behind that. Oh, look down here. Push in like crazy. Now there is one more nuke, one natural nuke between all of them. And let's see, I hear there's a nuke going down. But that nuke wasn't a... Pat had an Odin, it just got killed. There's the nuke, that was their nuke. But again, that wasn't a, you know, that wasn't a team nuke, that was just a an Odin nuke, so it only does damage in a smaller area. Of course, they're, you know, they're storming and doing all kinds of fun stuff, so they're holding here, and we're just duking it out in the middle. Those storms do good damage to those Scourge, especially when they're softened up from the, you know, the Odin blasts. But you can see that, you know, that took out like, I don't know if that was 2 or 3. So finally I'm launching it. I feel confident enough that we're going to hold these units here with these reinforcements, that the army's not going to move too far past where the nuke is. And indeed, at least 4 really wounded Broodlords go down. So wow, that was a really good use of a nuke. But you can see it's almost useless at this point with this much back and forth. Resources wise, look at 31,000. I guess that's the amount of money he's made over the history, or does he have that in the bank right now? What does that mean? So he's got 9,000 now, 9,000 there. I've got, let's see, go to everybody. So I got 9,800. He's got 3,000. He's got 31,000. So that is indeed how much money he has on hand at this moment. I mean, it's just super killing it. You might as well start upgrading that pylon too. What the hell? So this is just a lot of back and forth. Let's see a little bit more to, oops, I did not mean to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, super bad. Okay, I meant to do this. Click. So, you know, you think, wow, look at all the stuff coming. There's no way you can stop this push. There's no way. Oh, yeah, there's a way. It's called Scourge and Thors. Of course, they have a lot of Scourge. We have a lot of Scourge. And the Vikings can't shoot down. Only the carriers can shoot down. And then here come the BCs to help, because the BCs can get shot down by the Vikings. So we'll see how that push works. So we got, you know, I don't want to get too overextended with these Odins. I now have 3 Odins, and they're all here now. So this is Odins 2, 3, and 4. Okay, these Odins aren't cheap. So now this next Odin's going to cost me 16,000 to build. So I think I'm dropping yet another nuke finally. So my second nuke of the game. We'll see how effective this one is. Here we've got, we do have some more. All right, just about killed those guys and got rid of a whole lot of Scourge, which is good. Kind of helps our air attack here. These Broodlords are so far back though. They're still alive, and do they regain it? Yeah, they're regaining a little bit of energy there. I'm sure we'll kill them soon, but they're just hanging out here, still alive, killing stuff for fun. Then finally, kadoosh, gonna kill those Broodlords after softening them up with that nuke. Here, you know, bottom lane hasn't moved much, just as constant fight back for it. You know, at this point, it's all about the heroes, getting the heroes out there, using those special abilities. I'm being told to get rid of all my tanks here to help, and that's some APM there, ladies and gentlemen. We got rid of some tanks. And I'm going to start building some more air. I do have a bit of a problem because I don't know where my my worker is constantly rallied. He's rallied all the way out into the middle, and so he's just going to keep running. I think he's been doing this all the game after I stopped. So he's just constantly running out there, not actually building anything. You see, I have all these buildings queued up. I finally realized that, and I'm going to start. You know, I brought my Odins all the way back so they wouldn't get killed in battle. I did that on purpose, and now they're getting all healed up too. So we'll start dropping these BC buildings here. Just go straight air, and yeah, I don't sync these up or anything. It's just too many to sync up. They're just a good stream of them coming out. So look at all of these Kerrigans down here. So these are all, I believe, 1% Kerrigans. Yep, just storming the crap out of everything. The thing about Kerrigan's Storm is that you can do them more often than you can do the nukes from the Odins. So the thing about the Odins, they do have a really good anti-air attack. Remember, they can do 60 damage now, fully powered up to air, and they fire pretty fast too. And remember, I do believe that that does have splash damage. So we're pushing out yet again. So we are now at about the cooldown's almost done. And remember, I'm up to Odins 2, 3, and 4 here, and soon we have Odin 5. So now green is like 1% is telling me to lure their nukes with one of my Odins. Okie dokie. I'm thinking, how the hell am I supposed to do that? Alright, so I'm going to try a little strategy here. Sacrifice an Odin for a nuke so I can push with carries. Alright, great. So I just sent one guy out front, but it doesn't do any good if he just insta-dies to like the army, so we got to be careful with that. So just softening everything up. So there is a nuke launch. Let's see where that one's at. So the nuking the army down here. Let's see if he can see that. Oh my god, there's a nuke coming down. Oh no. Oh wow. Just dodged a bullet on that one. Didn't really do a whole lot, but he was right next to all those nukes. Boy, that was dangerous. But again, that was an Odin nuke, so not the most powerful thing. There's the Odin that fired its nuke off, is running back. Let's see how many. So I got 3 Odins on the field. There's 4 Kerrigans versus 1 Odin, another 3 Kerrigans, another Odin, another Kerrigan, another Kerrigan. Lots of heroes on the field. One thing to note, we probably should have built, with this guy, made the building to make his hero as well. Did not think of that. But we could have got a hero out of him. Got to remember that next time. So, looks like he decided to go Ultralisks here at the end. Don't know if that's the right thing, because we just start, we just clean those up pretty good. I think it's definitely the wrong thing. Everything we have, except for the Vikings, can also shoot at the ground. You just see like these come out pretty much insta-death underneath our army. Now, once again, the army's getting pulled in 2 directions. He says, good job, like I did something. So here comes yet another nuke. Let's see who's firing that nuke off. There's nuking over here from he's firing. Izzy's firing the nuke. And the bad thing about those nukes, okay, I don't know if they do damage to your own units, but sure as hell didn't do any damage to the bad guy. So I'm expecting them to nuke us, and I'm not, I still know there's one nuke up here. I don't see it. I got all my units here, and I kind of forget that there's this one nuke. So Baddies, Kerrigan, Paul, Zeratul, they're having fun. I mean, it's been a good game, and there's one nuke between them at this point. I got these 3 Odins coming up, and that's when they decide now would be a good time to use a worker nuke. And remember, worker nukes kill everything in an area, not do damage, just instant. So I lose all of my Odins, and now we make the 5th. We'll make the 5th Odin here in just a second. So we're not making him yet. I'm saving up a little bit of money. So also one thing that I'm doing, I'm really mad about that. So I start chrono boosting out everything, and you can see the wiggly. You can see the blur. That's just me spending money, chrono boosting everything out. And sometimes it's hard to click on all these buildings to get them the chrono boost, so you got to keep going back and forth to lose the selection. But that's just going to send more of our units out faster to just end this. So there goes the Scourge and the Corruptors all at once. That made, and they're fighting back. They don't want to give up. Let's see. Do I have my? I don't have quite enough yet. I know I'll get to it soon. I have 14,000. Harito has left the game, so now it's a 3-on-3. Pat's saying good game. It's almost over. Pat has left the game. But look at this. It's like, I think it's somebody going, wait a minute, why are we leaving? Okay, well, they're pushing the bottom pretty good here. So it's not good news when the Scourge can get shot down before they hit anything. I mean, look at the storms. Look what can happen when you got 4 Kerrigans just storming an area. And now I got 16,000. I have enough for my 5th Odin. I got to represent. Where's my 5th? There it is. We're making that Odin. So they're pushing on the bottom lane, storming the crap out of everything with all of these. Oh, look at that. And as they come out, they die in the storm. Beautiful place to storm that. And here comes the Odin is walking out. I'm sure it's right here somewhere. Oh, it's just hanging out. My Odin's just hanging out. I got my 5th Odin. Never had 5 Odins in the game before. Pretty epic, and now we're just eating through. There's just nothing they can do down here. Just making sure we don't lose on top while they win on bottom. So now the Odin's coming out to kind of save the day here a little bit. They're shooting down the Brood Lords, and they're pushing in here. This was an excellent game. Tanks and Vikings into BCs. Good partners, a lot of income. There we go. Nukes going down, all kinds of happiness. Just holding the line here, making sure that push doesn't make its way all the way into our base. We are able to hold the line, and the bottom pushes in and clear things out and take down this Nexus. That was an epic game. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I am X-Wave from the Cheese Brothers channel, where we cheese all the time, except for when we play Nexus Wars, because we just love infuriating games like this. We do like playing Nexus Wars, so you can check us out on our channel here on YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and enjoy the cheese as we do Team Cheese on the ladder. On Team Skype, we all talk to each other. This game, I wasn't playing with my Cheese Brothers. I was just playing with some random friends there online, and just had a good Nexus Wars game and thought I'd share it with you all. So, till next time on the Cheese Brothers.